What's up, BF fam? This is Big Tone coming at you again with another video. We're going to do a recipe that I've seen posted online a lot of times. I've never done this. Basically just baked spaghetti and meatballs. Should be a fun one. I've never done this before, so we'll see how it comes out. But before we get started, you know how we get down. Let's go and like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't mind, and just post it if you really like the video. We're going to get this video started. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to be making the meatballs first. So first thing I'm going to do is dice up some onions here real quick. Well, hold on. Before I even get started with that, I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil here in the pan here, okay? Just a little bit here, just to saute my onions up, okay? So let me continue to chop these up. And I'm doing about a half of onion here. This is what's going to go actually inside of the meatball. Some people don't put onions in their meatballs, but I'm going to. I need some flavor here, okay? Discard that. All right, and then also, I got a little bit more. Sorry about that. All right, then also I'm gonna add a touch of red pepper. I'm kind of getting rid of some of my ingredients I had from another dish. And that's the way to get rid of stuff. Well, I think that should be enough, but we'll see if it isn't here in just a moment. So I'm going to cut up a little bit of red pepper. These are going to go inside of the meatballs as well. I'm going to try to cut these up so fine, or so small, you're not really going to see a whole bunch of chunks of red pepper. Alright, so we'll get this cut up. Try to make it as small as possible here. Alright, so we're just going to transfer this over to the pot here. We're going to give it a chance to get hot here. So it's going to be just a few minutes, and I'll come back and we'll get this started. I got 1 pound of ground beef, 80-20, and then I got some just mild Italian sausage. So you got to have some sausage in here. For, it needs some fat. But I'm going to show you my supporting cast of everything that's going to go inside of the meatballs. So I'm going to add some garlic powder here, breadcrumbs, black pepper, leaf oregano, Italian seasoning, of course my Himalayan sea salt, and we're going to use some lies, a little bit of garlic, not much, but just a little bit, and some Worcestershire sauce. All right, so we're gonna start here with just some regular salt and pepper here. It's probably a teaspoon or so. And then my black pepper, I'm gonna flip this over a little bit so I can get it on kind of both things here. About a teaspoon and a half. Then my garlic powder. All right, and that's probably about a little bit more than a teaspoon, maybe a tad bit more. Then my Lowry's. All right, that's of course probably about a teaspoon. At that point, we're gonna add my leaf oregano. Probably about a half a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon. As I told you, I'm not a measurer, so I do it by sight and how I feel. And this is the Italian seasoning. I'm probably putting in about a teaspoon and a half of this. All right, and then we're gonna add a little bit of garlic here, okay? I'm not gonna add that much of it, only because I'm gonna be putting garlic in a lot of things. So this is probably about a teaspoon and a half of minced garlic, okay? All right, the next thing we're gonna add is breadcrumbs. Now breadcrumbs are the binder here. All right, just like meatloaf, breadcrumbs bind it. You can use any type of, bready substance to bind it. I'm putting quite a bit in here, okay? Making sure I got it all covered there. And then the last thing that we're gonna simply add here is the sauteed onions and red pepper that I sauteed up here in a pan. All right, so we're gonna add that. I let them cool down for a little bit. just so you can see the onions are are translucent a little bit here. We're gonna add that to the pan. Let's get it all out here. Come here. All right. So we got it all out here. Now the next part is just like meatloaf. You got to get dirty. So I'm gonna mix this up here, and let me get started on that. Now the vegetables are still a little bit warm in here, so be careful. Sometimes I try not to knead the meat too much, because then for some reason, just like with hamburgers, when you're making a hamburger, it gets a little bit tough when you knead your meat too much.
Bruh.
I need to rephrase that, huh? And I forgot to put in the Worcestershire sauce. So we're gonna put about, this is probably gonna be about a half a cup. I don't look at recipes, but I provide them for you guys just so you can see them. Now I want to mention, before I even get started cooking any of this, let me wipe off my hands a little bit. Once I get started cooking any of this, remember this is a baked spaghetti and meatballs. So not everything has to be done totally all the way cooked as I'm searing these things off, or if I'm cooking the spaghetti, which I'll show you here in a little bit. But because it's gonna go in the oven for about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. So it's gonna cook then as well. All right, so now we're gonna form our meatballs. The meatballs are gonna be just about the size of a teaspoon here. Not much longer there. I mean, probably a little smaller than a golf ball, maybe. But we're just gonna put them in the frying pan, and we're gonna have to move kind of quick here. Now I'm probably gonna make more meatballs than I need. The 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of pork, it's gonna make quite a bit, but I like my meat, okay?
Bruh.
Hey, I gotta do a lot of rephrasing on this video, don't I? By the way, guys, just to mention, I am using my Copper Chef Pro and all of my little Copper Chef pots and pans that I got. So if you guys are listening over there at Copper Chef Pro, as I said in my other videos, we'll be okay. Just send me a couple more pieces, okay? But yeah, I love this Copper Chef stuff. Actually, I'm gonna see how long it lasts, because I've gotten a couple things. As I told you, I keep everything real. I've gotten a couple people that have messaged me, and they've been using it for longer than I have, and they say that some of the coating goes off, or but we're gonna see. I'm gonna see what's my experience. I mean, that's secondhand from somebody else. But we're gonna see what my experiences are. So we'll be right back, and I'll show you after the meatballs get done. Guys, we're back. As you can see, I've got my meatballs all cooked up here in the nice little pan. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of Hunt's diced tomato. This is the basil, garlic, and oregano. But let me start up my pan here. I'm sorry about that. So we'll give that a second here. I'm gonna go ahead and pour these in. It's pretty hot right now, because I just got done with the meatballs. Discard that for you. All right, so we're gonna let these, basically we're just gonna stew these around, let them get that canned flavor out of it. We're using the same pan just to get some of this black char and the nice little goodness that came from the meatballs. All right, let me move the meatballs over here just a second. All right, and to this little mixture here, once this starts getting hot, I'm gonna add some more diced onions, and I'm also gonna add some more red peppers are also diced, or red bell peppers are diced up. So this is starting to get a nice little boil. You see how quick that Copper Chef Pro heats up? I love it. And I've got it on 275 degrees. So it heated pretty quickly, so we're gonna get that up to a nice little simmer or boil there. Then I'm gonna add my onions, okay? Just another moment. I think you can see that. And just a little fun fact to tell about the Copper Chef Pro induction heater. As soon as I take this off, you hear it beep and it goes out. Then put it back on, it goes right back to 275 again. It starts back simmering there. So we're gonna give that a chance to simmer just a little bit longer before I add my onions. All right, so I'm gonna add my onions now. And I'm gonna add my red bell peppers. Get these mixed up in here pretty good. Almost looks like salsa, huh? All right, so let me get rid of these and put these over here for right now. All right, so we're gonna cook these onions and things and the red peppers down a little bit, get some of the taste out of the canned tomatoes, the Hunt's tomatoes. But now, after that, I'm gonna add this. This is actually my first time trying this. So this is Paul Newman's spaghetti sauce. But we're gonna give this a try. I've never had it before. I don't even know if it tastes really sweet or it's got a mild flavor, but we're gonna give it a try here. And then at that point, we'll add the meatballs and let them stew for a moment. Guys, so this is cooked down quite a bit. Starting to get a nice little aroma in here. And it's probably cooked enough to get some of the canned flavor out of the tomatoes. But the onions have cooked down. The red bell peppers are starting to get soft. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer this over to my big boy Copper Chef skillet here. This is the big square one here. So I'm gonna simply just transfer all the ingredients. And notice how that just slid out of the Copper Chef. I mean, really just literally slid out. I'm gonna place this over here, get rid of it. Hopefully you can see this. Maybe the edges aren't too high. All right, but what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add my tomato sauce here, my Paul Newman tomato sauce. So I'm gonna put one of them in here. Try to get as much as I can out. All right. If there's any more, then it's not gonna come out. And we're gonna add another bottle of it here. And you know what? I'm gonna taste a little bit of this. I've never used it before. It's got a sweetness to it. All right, so we got as much as that as I'm gonna get out. Let's get rid of these. Oh, we're splashing. That's okay. Nothing the rag can't help. So I'm gonna stir this up here. All right. We get this incorporated here, then I'm gonna add some more ingredients to it, okay? It's actually looking pretty good now. Sorry for the beating and the banging. But now I'm gonna add some more garlic to it. All right, I'm gonna add a nice little heaping mound of garlic. The sauce has been simmering for a little bit of time. I tasted it, but I'm gonna have to put a little bit more, put a little salt in this. All right, so just a tad bit here. I'm also gonna put a little bit of pepper. So yeah, the canned stuff is great, but you gotta doctor it up a little bit. You can't just use it straight out of the can. If you do that, you're missing out on a lot. All right, so we got this going here. Now I'm gonna add the meatballs to this, okay? All right, just put them in here. Now, some of the meatballs, you know, they didn't cook all the way through, so remember this is going in the oven. So we're just gonna go ahead and stir the meatballs in and get them nicely coated. Put the top on and we're gonna cook this down. It's probably gonna cook for about another 5-10 minutes. And I'm gonna raise the temperature up. And we'll be back in just a moment, okay? Hey, we're back. So the meatballs have been stewing down in the sauce for a couple minutes, probably about 5 minutes. So now I'm gonna add the spaghetti here, okay? And you got to be a little careful when you're stirring this up because you don't want to kill your meatballs here. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. I'm going to add a little bit of fresh basil here. All right, I just add that right on top. Let me incorporate it a little bit throughout the spaghetti here. The only thing else that we're going to add after this cooks for about 2 minutes is that we're going to add cheese on top. So we'll be back in just a moment here, okay? Last thing we're going to add is cheese. It's going to be quite a bit of cheese on here. So, you know, I spent a few dollars on some cheese here. But we're going to go ahead and put it on here as a top layer. And speaking of the spaghetti that I used was Barilla. And I always get thick spaghetti. I don't like thin spaghetti. I know some people do, but I don't. I really don't like the thin spaghetti. I think Barilla is the only company that makes the thick spaghetti. But that's a personal choice. I mean, it's just what I like. So you can get any spaghetti you want, of course. All right, so we got that covered with cheese here. So now I'm going to cover this up, and this is going to go in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. All right, guys, so one of the great things I love about these Copper Chef pots is that you can put the lid on it. It's got an oven-proof handle. All I got to do is put it in the oven. So this is 350. It'll probably be in for about 20 minutes. All right, guys, I'll show you the finished product in a moment, BF fam. So here we go with the finished product. As you can see, the cheese is melted nicely. Meatballs are poking out. It's a nice home comfort food, baked spaghetti and meatballs. All right, fam, so if you like this video, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And go ahead and share it if you really like it to all social media. But if you want to see me cook anything in particular on this channel, just drop it down in the comments, and I'll try my best to do that for you guys. This is Big Tone signing off. Peace.